You walk into the room, and the shift in the atmosphere is instantaneous, almost palpable against your skin. It isn't admiration you feel radiating from your peers. It is a sudden, sharp drop in temperature, a distinct chill that has nothing to do with the air conditioning. You are at a dinner party, a high school reunion, or perhaps a corporate boardroom meeting with men you have known for decades. These are your contemporaries, the men you grew up with. You share the same chronological age, the same tax bracket, perhaps even similar histories of marriage and career. But as you take off your jacket, revealing a physique that speaks of cold iron, early mornings, and a refusal to yield to gravity, you realize with a sinking feeling that you are no longer one of them. You have unwittingly committed the cardinal sin of modern aging. You refuse to decay. They look at you, and instead of asking for your routine or showing genuine curiosity, they offer you a drink with a smirk that doesn't quite reach their eyes. They make the passive-aggressive joke that cuts a little too deep. Must be nice to have that much free time. Or, midlife crisis hitting hard, huh? You smile, you brush it off with a polite nod, but you feel the profound isolation of the moment. Make no mistake, this feeling of alienation is not all in your head, and it is not a byproduct of your own vanity. You have inadvertently triggered a primal, evolutionary alarm system in every other male in that room. You are not just fit, you are a walking, breathing evidence of their own neglect. You are a living testament to what they could have been if they hadn't chosen comfort over capability. If you want to deeply understand why your discipline has made you a pariah among your closest friends and how to navigate this dangerous social terrain without compromising your standards or losing your mind, make sure you are subscribed right now. We are about to dissect the dark, uncomfortable psychology of male competition in the modern age, and most men are not ready to hear what comes next. To truly grasp the hostility directed at you, we must first strip away the polite veneer of society and look at the raw biology they are surrendering to. By the age of 50, the average modern male is in a state of catastrophic, accelerated decline. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of skeletal muscle mass and function, has been eating away at their physical essence since their 30s at a frightening rate of 3% to 5% per decade. Their testosterone levels are plummeting to historic lows, their cortisol is chronically elevated from stress they cannot manage, and their metabolic flexibility is shattered, leaving them inflamed and lethargic. This state of decay is what society has labeled natural. This is the comfortable, gentle slope of decline that they have all agreed to slide down together, hand in hand. It is a collective suicide pact of vitality where everyone agrees that getting fat, slow, and weak is just part of life. When you stand among them, retaining the muscle density, the upright posture, and the sharp jawline of a man 20 years your junior, you are not just a statistical outlier. You are a biological insult to their existence. In psychology, there is a concept known as a benign violation. Usually this creates humor, but in your case, it creates dissonance. In the ancestral environment, the older male who remained physically dominant was the chieftain, the silverback, the one who commanded resources, respect, and fear. He was the anomaly who survived the winters and the wars. In the modern environment, where physical capability is often traded for sedentary comfort and convenience, your presence signals a retained capacity for violence and utility that they have lost. They fear you because, on a deeply subconscious level, in the lizard brain that governs survival instincts, they know that if civilization collapsed tomorrow, if the lights went out and the laws disappeared, you would survive, and they would not. That primal knowledge breeds deep-seated resentment, not applause. They are not looking at a friend, they are looking at a superior competitor who has refused to sign the Treaty of Mediocrity. Psychologically, this phenomenon is rooted in what we can call the mirror of regret. When a man sees another man achieve financial success, he can rationalize it away to protect his ego. He can say, he got lucky with crypto, or he inherited that money, or he stepped on people to get to the top. Money is external. It is a resource that can be acquired through luck or circumstance. But the body is the ultimate honest signal. You cannot inherit a six-pack from your father. You cannot steal broad shoulders from a business partner. You cannot bribe your way to a resting heart rate of 50 or a deadlift of 400 pounds. Your physique is the irrefutable receipt of your suffering. It is crystallized discipline. It is hours of pain, sacrifice, and denial of immediate gratification. When your out-of-shape friend, who has spent the last 2 decades prioritizing comfort, looks at you, he is stripped of his excuses. He cannot say it's genetics, because you were built just like him 10 years ago. He cannot say it's impossible, because you are standing right there in front of him, breathing the same air, living in the same world. You force him to confront the uncomfortable, burning truth that his decline was a choice. Every time he looks at your discipline, he sees his own laziness reflected back at him in high-definition, 4K resolution. To protect his fragile ego from this crushing realization, he must devalue your achievement. This is cognitive dissonance in real time. He must believe that you are narcissistic, obsessed, vain, or perhaps using steroids, because the alternative, admitting that he failed himself and wasted his potential, is too painful to bear. He projects his insecurity onto you, labeling your dedication as a disorder so that his apathy can feel like a virtue. There exists an unspoken, invisible social contract among men over the age of 40 in modern society. The contract reads, "We are all tired. We are all broken. Let's just enjoy the decline and complain about our knees." This is the camaraderie of the comfort zone. It is a safety mechanism that ensures no one feels inadequate because everyone is equally mediocre. This is the foundation of the dad bod phenomenon, a cultural psyop designed to make weakness acceptable and even trendy. It is a way for men to abdicate the responsibility of maintaining their vessel. When you refuse to sign this contract, when you continue to push, sprint, and lift, you become a threat to the group's cohesion. You become the nail that sticks out. This triggers the crab mentality, or tall poppy syndrome. Just as crabs in a bucket will physically pull down the one crab that tries to escape to freedom, your peer group will subconsciously, and sometimes consciously, try to sabotage you. Have you noticed how they aggressively push alcohol on you at gatherings? "Come on, just one drink, don't be boring." Have you noticed how they insist you eat the cake or the fried food? "You're making us look bad," they joke. But there is truth in the jest. They are not trying to help you enjoy life. They are trying to drag you back down to their metabolic level so they can feel safe again. Your discipline makes them feel unsafe because it raises the standard of what is possible. If you can do it, why can't they? The answer implies a lack of character on their part. By sabotaging you, they are attempting to restore the equilibrium where their lack of effort is the norm, not the exception. They want to neutralize the threat you pose to their self-esteem by corrupting your discipline. We must also have the courage to address the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about: sexual competition. We like to pretend that at 50 we are civilized and past the age of intrasexual rivalry, but evolution does not care about your wedding anniversary or your retirement plan. Status is relative and sexual selection is brutal. In the past, status for older men was purely about resources: who had the biggest house, the finest horses, the most land. But we now live in a world of abundance where food is cheap, luxury is accessible on credit, and obesity is a disease of poverty, not wealth. In this environment, physical health has become the new ultimate status symbol. A fit, lean body at 50 is the new Ferrari. It signals that you have the time, the high-level discipline, and the profound self-respect that money alone cannot buy. When you walk into a room filled with couples, your friend's wife notices. She doesn't just see muscles, she sees vitality. She sees a man who is still in the game, a man who possesses a dangerous capability, versus her husband, who has effectively checked out of life and let himself go. This creates a deep, unspoken territorial anxiety in your male friends. You are a threat to their dominance hierarchy, not because you are flirting with their wives. You likely aren't, but because your very existence highlights their lack of sexual dimorphism. You look like a protector. They look like the protected. You look like you could carry a woman out of a burning building. They look like they would need to be carried out themselves. This biological signaling triggers a defensive hostility that often manifests as ridicule, exclusion, or attempts to frame you as immature for still caring about your body. They try to frame your fitness as vanity, to hide the fact that it is actually vitality, and that is what makes them most afraid. You have likely heard the phrase "growing old gracefully." It sounds poetic, dignified even. But let us dissect what that phrase actually means in the modern lexicon. In today's world, aging gracefully is a euphemism for giving up without a fight. It is code for accepting the cane, the pills, and the recliner chair without protest. It is the surrender of agency. When your peers tell you to act your age, they are telling you to embrace obsolescence. They view your gym routine, your strict diet, and your refusal to drink poisoned water as a desperate attempt to cling to youth. They are wrong. You are not clinging to youth. You are maximizing utility. This is the fundamental philosophical divide that separates you from them. They view the body as a depreciating asset to be used up and discarded. You view the body as the primary instrument of your will, a vessel that must be sharpened until the very last breath. This divergence creates friction because it challenges their worldview. If aging gracefully is the right path, then why do they look so miserable? Why are they constantly complaining about ailments that you do not have? Your existence proves that their suffering is optional, not inevitable. By rejecting the cult of comfort, you are rejecting the very mechanism they use to cope with their mortality. You are reminding them that pain is the price of admission for a meaningful life, and they have stopped paying their dues. You have become a living reminder that the soft life has a very hard ending, while the hard life of discipline yields a soft, capable landing. Prepare yourself for the specific language of their attacks. They will not attack your results. They cannot, because the results are undeniable. Instead, they will attack your process. They will label you obsessed, rigid, or no fun. Why do you have to be so intense? They will ask. Why can't you just relax for once? Understand that in a society of addicts, the sober man is the crazy one. In a world of sedentary decay, the active man is the fanatic. When they call you obsessed, they are trying to pathologize your discipline. They are trying to frame your dedication as a mental illness to excuse their own lack of willpower. Do not internalize this label. Instead, reframe it. What they call obsession, you call commitment. What they call rigidity, you call standards. The ability to say no to immediate gratification, to the cake, the beer, the missed workout, is the highest form of self-love. It is the ability to prioritize your future self over your present impulses. Their inability to understand this is not your problem to solve. They are slaves to their dopamine receptors. You are the master of yours. When they mock your Tupperware meals or your early bedtimes, realize that they are mocking the very traits that build empires: consistency, foresight, and delayed gratification. Wear their obsession label like a badge of honor. It means you are doing something that the average man cannot fathom. You are conquering yourself. So how do you navigate this minefield without losing your friends or your mind? You must adopt the Stoic protocol. The biggest mistake fit men make is the urge to evangelize. You want to help them. You want to tell them about the benefits of heavy squats, the clarity of intermittent fasting, the power of testosterone optimization. Stop. Do not cast pearls before swine. Unsolicited advice is always received as criticism. When you explain your lifestyle, you sound defensive. You sound like you are trying to justify your existence. The lion does not explain himself to the sheep. Your new strategy is strategic silence. When they make the passive-aggressive joke, do not snap back. Do not launch into a lecture about insulin sensitivity. Simply smile, hold eye contact for a second too long, and say nothing. Or offer a non-committal agreement. Maybe you're right. I am a creature of habit. This deprives them of the conflict they seek. It acts as a mirror, bouncing their insecurity right back at them. Be the dangerous gentleman. Be kind, be generous. Buy the first round of drinks, even if you are drinking soda water. But remain physically imposing and unshakable. Let your results scream while you whisper. Your posture, your energy, and your presence are the only arguments you need. By refusing to engage in the debate, you maintain the high ground. You show that you are secure in your path and that their validation is not required for your mission. If you hold the line, something remarkable happens. It usually takes time, months, maybe years, but the dynamic will shift. As they enter their mid-50s and 60s, the fun of the decline stops being fun. The health scares begin, the heart attacks, the diabetes diagnoses, the chronic back pain that prevents them from playing with their grandchildren. Suddenly, the dad bod isn't cute anymore. It's a liability. This is the moment the mirror of regret shatters and reality sets in. And who will they look to? They will look to the one man who stood firm. They will look to the anomaly. You will notice the tone change. The mockery will fade, replaced by quiet, hesitant questions. Hey, what was that supplement you mentioned? Do you think I'm too old to start lifting? My doctor said I need to lose 20 pounds. Can you help? This is your victory condition. You win not by defeating them in an argument, but by outlasting their excuses. When they come to you, do not be arrogant. Do not say, I told you so. Be the leader they need. Guide them with the same compassion you showed yourself. You endured the ridicule so that you could be strong enough to pull them up when they finally fell. This is the burden of the strong. To be the lighthouse that endures the storm, waiting for the others to realize they are lost at sea. Finally, remember why you are doing this. You are not staying fit at 50 to look good in a t-shirt, though that is a nice side effect. You are doing this to break a generational curse of weakness. You are doing this to be useful. A sick, weak man has only one wish, to be healthy. A healthy, strong man has 1,000 wishes. He can build, he can protect, he can create. By maintaining your physique, you are preserving your capacity to act in the world. You are ensuring that you are not a burden to your children, but a pillar for them. Let the others sneer. Let them gossip. Let them huddle together in the warmth of their mediocrity. You have chosen the cold, lonely path of the ascent. It is a path paved with sweat, iron, and solitude. But the view from the summit is reserved for the few who refuse to quit. You are the vanguard. You are the prototype of what the older male should be. Do not dim your light to make their darkness less terrifying. Burn brighter. Make them shield their eyes. Your vitality is a violation of their comfort, yes. But it is also the only hope they have of seeing what is possible. Stay dangerous. Stay disciplined. And never apologize for being the strongest man in the room. In the end, you must accept that the view from the summit is breathtaking, but the air is thin, and it is often lonely. You have chosen a life of friction over a life of ease. You have chosen to be the iron that sharpens iron, while others are content to be the clay that is molded by circumstance. There will be days when the isolation feels heavy. There will be nights when you question if the discipline is worth the social cost. In those moments, look at the alternative. Look at the hospital beds filled with regret. Look at the men who cannot tie their own shoes because they traded their mobility for a few decades of comfort. That is the ghost of the future you defeated. You are not just building a body. You are building a fortress against the chaos of the world. You are preserving the sacred fire of masculinity that society is desperately trying to extinguish with watered-down mediocrity. If you have watched this far, it is because you feel that fire burning within you. You are likely the only one in your circle who understands this language. You are the outlier, the anomaly, the break in the pattern. Do not let the world extinguish you. We are building a tribe of men who refuse to go gently into that good night. If you are ready to hold the line, if you are ready to be the dangerous gentleman in a room full of harmless boys, then subscribe and stand with us. We do not offer comfort here. We offer the truth. The world has enough victims. It needs more victors. Go out there and be the standard. Let them hate you. Let them mock you. But never let them ignore you. Die with memories, not dreams. Die worn out, not rusted out.